Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting of council for the town of Petawawa to order for July the 7th of 2025. I extend a warm welcome to all members of council, our staff team, and in particular our two guests this evening, Taylor Turcotte and Henry Coutu. Welcome. I'd now like to ask Councillor Roots to please read the land acknowledgement.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. As we gather this evening, I would like to acknowledge on behalf of the Petawawa Town Council and our community that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the Omamwinini Algonquin people. We would like to thank the Omamwinini people and express our respect and support for their rich history, and we're extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years, and we wish to acknowledge our shared responsibilities in responding to the Truth and Reconciliation Commission 94 calls to action. Calls to action number 60. Call upon leaders of the church parties in the settlement agreement and all of their faiths in collaboration with Indigenous spiritual leaders, survivors, schools of theology, seminaries, and other religious training centers to develop and teach curriculum for all students, clergy, and all clergy and staff who work in Aboriginal communities on the need to respect Indigenous spirituality in its own right, the history and legacy of residential schools, and the roles of church parties in that system, the history and legacy of religious conflict in Aboriginal families and communities, and the responsibility that churches have to mitigate such conflicts and prevent spiritual violence. Recent progress, leaders of the church parties to the settlement agreement and all other faiths are responsible for response to calls action 60. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Roots. Could I now ask all in attendance to please stand for So we're now on to the approval of the agenda for the July 7th, 2025 regular meeting of council. Could I have a motion? Moved by Councillor Roots and seconded by Councillor Donovan. All in favor? It is carried. Thank you. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest in any of the matters before us this evening? Thank you. Having seen that, we'll now go on to the approval of the minutes from the June 16th, 2025 council meeting. Could I have a motion, please? Councillor Carmody and seconded by Councillor Coutu. Are there any errors or omissions? I'll call for the motion. It is carried. Thank you. We have no presentations before us this evening, nor do we have any bylaws. We also do not have any correspondence, so we will now go on to the minutes before us. The first set of minutes is council and committee meeting of June the 23rd of 2025. Could I have a motion to approve these minutes? Motion by Councillor Roots and seconded by Councillor Coutu. Are there any errors or omissions? Having seen none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? And it is carried. Thank you. Now we'll go on to the Ottawa Valley Waste Management Board meeting of March the 20th of 2025. I'll ask Councillor Roots to please provide feedback.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I have spoken to these details in other discussions with the council and to the public in their meetings, but I will take any questions from council if there is any concerns about it.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Councillor Roots? Having seen none, I'll call for a motion to accept the minutes as presented by Councillor Roots and seconded by Councillor Carmody. All in favor? It is carried. Thank you. Now we will go on to the Petawawa OPP Detachment Board meeting minutes of May the 21st of 2025. Call upon Councillor Carmody.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. So these minutes were of our meeting held on May 21st. And of note at this meeting, we had Bennett Blackwell, who is the president of the Pembroke Brantford County Crime Stoppers Association. And he and Sean Peever attended the meeting and gave us a presentation on the workings of Crime Stoppers. It was very informative, and it hatched a few plans. We may have them back for further dialogue with the public. And that was mostly it. Up under new business, you'll see. Once again, we're going to support MAD Canada with some advertising. But other than that, I'd be happy to answer any questions if there are any.
Thank you, Councillor Carmody. Are there any questions? Having seen none, I'll ask for a motion to accept the minutes as presented by Councillor Carmody and seconded by Councillor Donovan. All in favor? It is carried. Thank you. Now we will move on to the Petawawa Accessibility Advisory Committee meeting minutes from May the 22nd of 2025. Upon Councillor Donovan, please.
Thank you. I was not at this meeting, but did follow up afterwards. Still working on many of our projects, the community garden at that point, with their accessible upgrades that we wanted to put in. National Accessibility Week plans were finalized and pulled together for that event. We are reviewing the code of conduct for the committee members. So that was brought forward as well at this meeting before everyone had the chance to formally accept their completion of it. Again, treat accessibility and our barrier-free audits. The new business that was a focus at the time. Happy to answer any questions. If anybody has any?
Thank you, Councillor Donovan. Are there any questions? Having seen none, I'll ask for a motion to accept these minutes as presented by Councillor Donovan and seconded by Councillor Coutu. All in favor? It is carried. Thank you. Very exciting. Now we have our first staff report. I'd like to ask Director of Public Works, Mr. Chris Mantha, to please come and present his PW-20-2025 award of tender PW-13-2025 grit tank number 2 repairs. I'll turn the floor over to you, Chris, please.
Deputy Mayor Saverin, members of council, good evening. All right, we're looking to award tender PW-13-2025 for grit tank number 2 repairs. The tender was prepared and advertised in our local paper, on our website and social media pages. 6 general contractors picked up the tender documents and 1 bid was received on the closing date of June 17th, 2025 at 10 a.m. The bid below, as you have it in your report, Image Masonry Limited in the amount of $373,000, which, as you see in the financial implications section, is over budget. Our budget was $300,000, so we're 24% over budget. However, we were able to have some internal discussions between Public Works and Aqua, and we feel that we have a good plan to move forward and get this work done. As you all know, we tendered for this in 2024. We were unsuccessful due to budget constraints in 2024, and then we re-tendered in 2024 and unfortunately received no bids. So what we're proposing is to reallocate some funding. There was $240,000 budgeted for SBR blower upgrades, and what we're looking to do is change that, reallocate $140,000 so that we can proceed with the grit tank number 2 upgrade. And as I mentioned before, we put this off. It is a priority. We feel it's time to get this one done. It's the last upgrade at the I'll say the start of the wastewater treatment plant process. So it's important that we get that looked after. And I think we have a good plan moving forward. So staff are looking to award the tender to Image Masonry in the amount of $373,000 plus HST. And we're also looking for council to approve $30,000 for engineering, design, and construction and administration costs. And we're looking for council to approve $37,000 for contingency allowance for the entire project for a total project cost of $440,000, excluding HST. Just for comparison, in 2024, we did have a bid for $456,150. So we're similar in value this year. I'm happy to take any questions with regards to the grid tank.
Thanks, Chris, and thank you for providing that comparison, because that was going to be one of my questions. What does this look like in terms of where it was before? So I appreciate that. Members of council, any questions? Councilor Coutu.
Deputy Mayor Southern. Just to point out, so I was reading in your report that the implementation of the net zero project would have impacted the blowers in any case. So maybe I was just curious if I could get a little more info on that.
Okay, that's a good question. So in speaking with Brad Sweet, we had plans to, so SBR blowers, just in case you're wondering what those are, they're sequencing batch reactors. Basically what they do is they diffuse air into the sewage waste, and that gets the microbes eating the sewage waste. So it's like part of the first process of getting the contaminants out of the water before the effluent goes back into the river. So as part of the net zero project, we're not really too sure once this is implemented, how it's going to affect these batch reactors, these blower systems. So what Brad Sweet recommended was keep $100,000. If they needed to buy a spare, they will. They may not even need the spare, and just wait until the net zero project is fully implemented, because it may mean that we don't have to upgrade those blowers.
Okay.
So we'll cross that bridge in 2026.
Okay, fantastic. I was thinking of my tour and
Yep.
seeing them and work, so
It's all good.
that answers my question. So I'm satisfied. Thanks.
Councilor Roots.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Thank you, Chris, and I'll be supporting this because it's time to move this project forward. It's been a couple of years that this has been on hold. Imaging Nation, where are they from? Who are they?
Yep. Good question, Councilor Ruth. So they're out of Toronto and they've been in business since 2005. I did do some research on the company just online. The reviews I saw were all positive. I did speak again with Brad Sweet to make sure that he was comfortable with image masonry and their specialty, and he was good with moving forward with them.
One more question. So the time frame, if this is approved by council, what's the time frame on this project then?
If approved, we'll be having a kickoff meeting within the next week or two and start as soon as possible.
Very good. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Having seen none, I will ask for a motion to approve the award of tender PW-13-2025 drip tank number 2 repairs by Councilor Coutu and seconded by Councilor Roots. I'm going to read the whole thing. That council approves the award of tender PW-13-2025 drip tank number 2 repairs to the lowest bidder, being Image Masonry Limited, in the amount of $373,000 plus HST, and the council approves $30,000 for engineering, design, and construction administration costs, and the council approves $37,000 for contingency allowance for the entire project as outlined above, for a total project cost of $440,000 excluding HST. All in favor? It is carried. Thank you. Thank you, Chris. So our next report, I'm going to ask Paula Turcott to come up, please. In -16-2025, appointment of signing officer for the corporation of the town of Petawawa. Paula, I'll turn the floor over to you.
Thank you. So the council appoints, is recommending to appoint the mayor, Gary Service, Teresa Sabrin, the deputy mayor, Colin Howard, CAO, and myself, acting treasurer, as the signing officers for the corporation of the town of Petawawa. Due to staffing changes, the appointment of Colin as CAO, the signing officer for the corporation, do need to be updated. So TD Canada Trust has provided the standard wording for the resolution. Would you like me to repeat the entire resolution, or I will.
Yeah, go ahead.
Where it is in the interest of the corporation to enter into arrangements for the provision of financial products and/or services with the Toronto Dominion Bank, TD Mortgage Corporation, TD Pacific Mortgage Corporation, and the Canada Trust Company, collectively the bank. Therefore, be resolved that the corporation from time to time open, maintain, and operate one or more accounts with the bank, and to do all things in relation thereto. Borrow money and otherwise obtain credit from the bank in such amounts and terms as may be deemed appropriate by loans, advances, overdraft, financial leases, and otherwise. Mortgage, I'm not going to say this well, advocate, charge, pledge, assign, convey, transfer, or otherwise grant a security interest in any or all of the property, real and personal, immovable and movable, undertaking and rights of the corporation, present and future to secure the payment and performance of any of or all of the present and future indebtedness, liabilities, and obligations of the corporation to the bank, enter into further arrangements for the provision of financial products and/or services with the bank, guarantee the obligations of any third party to the bank either with or without security, and do all such acts and things and execute and deliver any and all agreements or other instruments as being necessary by the bank to give full effect to its resolution. As well, in accordance with any restriction set out below, the persons holding the offices listed below from time to time are authorized for and on behalf of the corporation to execute and deliver all of the documents, instruments contemplated by this resolution, give the bank instructions in connection with any of the foregoing, conduct all aspects of the corporation's banking relationship with the bank, further delegate the authority granted hereunder to such person or persons as the authorized signing officers may select at any time from time to time and appoint, add, remove, and/or replace signing officers, including appointing specific signing officers in respect of specified accounts, and to establish the change in the signing officer requirement restrictions from time to time on prior written notice to the bank. The bank is entitled to rely on such documents, instruments, and instructions and transactions as duly and validly authorized and binding on the corporation, including, without limitation, any documents, instruments, instructions, and transactions made, drawn, accepted, endorsed, or signed by any delegates. The bank does not need to make any further inquiry into the authority of the authorized signing officers or delegates to bind the corporation. The signing officers listed by title and not by name are Gary Service, Mayor; Teresa Savarin, Deputy Mayor; Colin Howard, CIO; Paula Turcott, Acting Treasurer. Any titled officer or signing officer of the corporation is authorized to certify the bank the names of those persons who are holders from time to time of the positions authorized as signing officers, and such certification, when received by the bank, shall be binding on the corporation. The signing officer requirements: Mayor or Deputy Mayor, countersigned by CIO or Acting Treasurer. There is no financial implication on this at this time.
Thank you, Paula. Anybody has any questions? They were all answered in the review. Okay. I need a motion to accept the resolution as read by Councillor Donovan and seconded by Councillor Carmody. Are there any questions or comments? Having seen none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, and it is carried. Thank you, Paula. Our two guests with us this evening were absolutely riveted. Comments. Okay, so now we're on to our councillor reports. I'll call on Councillor Carmody first, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. So on June 18th, I chaired a OPP Detachment Board meeting. And on June 23rd, I chaired a Petawawa Public Library Board meeting. And on June 26th, I attended the Business Connect Symposium that was put together by our Economic Development Department. Very well done. Good job by the department there, well attended, and I'm sure a lot of business connections were made. And on the weekend of the 27th and 28th, I attended the Ottawa Valley Stomp at the Civic Center, which was, I attended Friday night and Saturday night, so it was pretty busy on Saturday night, good crowds. And of course, on July 1st, I attended the Canada Day celebrations at the Civic Center and barbecued a crazy amount of hot dogs.
Excellent. Thank you, Councillor Carmody. I'll now call on Councillor Tucci, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. On June 23rd, I attended the Petawawa Public Library board meeting. And I'll note at that meeting, we welcomed our new CEO of the library, Matthew Corbet. On June 25th, I attended the town staff barbecue, which was an excellent event, a great chance to have some food with staff and for everyone to welcome our new CAO. And on Canada Day, I, along with my fellow councillors, participated in handing out 1,500 hot dogs. I think that's an interesting statistic. And I was proud to do my small part, but I want to send kudos to the staff for planning and executing another truly amazing event. I think it's the best Canada Day event I've attended anywhere at any point in my life. And you could see it in everyone's faces. That slip and slide is epic. No one believes it if you don't see it, you know. So I'm really excited to have been a part of that in my small way. And that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Now we'll call on Councillor Donovan, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. On the 25th of June, I attended the Accessibility Advisory Committee meeting, as well as the staff barbecue that was held down at the Civic Center. On the 27th and the 29th, I as well was at the STOP event. And Councillor Tom was correct. It was very busy on Saturday night. A lot of fun to be at. On the 26th, I as well attended the Business Connect presentation that our Economic Development Department put on. Very well received by those that were there. And on the 1st of July, I as well was at Canada Day celebrations, packing up those 1,500 hot dogs. And I think it's the biggest crowd I've seen at that event. So it was fantastic. Job well done by the staff. Thank you.
And now I'll call on Councillor Roots, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. June 17th, I arranged a site tour with our newly elected MPP, Billy Deno, at Festival Hall. This was the first time for Mr. Deno seeing our facility. So it was exciting for him to receive a good view of everything that we have to offer at this location for the entire community at large. June 19th, I attended an Ottawa Valley Waste Recovery meeting. Again, this was a very busy information session where the board approved a new waste scale, and this currently has been installed and working to compliance standards. We also looked at canceling the special events days of household hazardous waste pickup. The participation at this event has been down locally here, and we're now offering an opportunity for the public to drop these hazard waste off every day during regular business hours at the site. And there's a cost savings to the taxpayer of the town of Petawawa of over $20,000 as well. There will be an information package in the media for the public to understand all the new changes that are happening out at the site. We also had an update on the blue box transition where everything is on track and seems to be working properly. We're continuing to also work with the ministry on the phase 2 project, a project that's been on the books for a bit. The Recovery Center, we're trying to receive some new permits and the storm management plan. Also on June 19th, I had an information virtual session for the Festival Hall as we're still gathering the specifics in regards to the possible new lighting upgrades. And July 1st, it was a pleasure to barbecue with the new CEO and my good friend, Councillor Carmody, and to work with all the council. As Councillor Couto said, this Canada Day event is huge. It's so nice to see the community come out and other communities to come to Petawawa. That's what it's all about. Come and see what we have to offer in our great town.
Thank you, Councillor Roots. For myself, early in the month, I attended a couple of change of commands. One was for the outgoing garrison commander, and the other one was for the commander of 4CDSG. On the 18th, I participated in a Petawawa OPP detachment board meeting, and I also had the privilege of being able to attend my FM to provide a public service announcement on voting safety. I've been told you're not going to recognize it's me, so apparently I sound very professional. According to my husband. Anyways, I also had the privilege of attending the farewell dinner for John Makubuski at the Rankin, and it was very, very well attended. A lot of a lot of council members, past and present, as well as members of the community and members of the provincial parliament and others were in attendance to bid this gentleman farewell and best of luck in his future. So that was a lot of fun. On the 26th, I also attended Business Connect and attended and danced my little feet off at Ottawa Valley Stomp on the 27th and 28th, and Honeymoon Suite did an outstanding job and had the crowd just rocking and singing, and it was a lot of fun. So that's basically it for me. So thank you. So we'll now go back to our agenda. I understand there's nothing proposed. Now we are on to our confirming bylaw. Could I have a motion for our confirming bylaw, please? By Councillor Roots and seconded by Councillor Pixiu. That bylaw 1767-25 be read a first, second, and third time and pass. All in favor? It is carried.
Bylaw 1767-25, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council at its meeting held on July 7th, 2025. That it be read first, second, and third time short, and this constitutes final reading of bylaw 1767-25.
Thank you. And now I'll call for adjournment. Motion by Councillor Donovan and seconded by Councillor Pixiu that the meeting be adjourned at the call of the Deputy Mayor. All in favor? We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.